Hi, and welcome to this Introduction to Podcast workshop. My name is Salima, and I am the Intergenerational Hub Champion with Age Friendly Edmonton. In this workshop, you'll learn more about the wonderful world of podcasts, and I'll share some information about the Shared Mic, an intergenerational podcast hosted by Age Friendly Edmonton. Age Friendly Edmonton is a joint initiative of the City of Edmonton and the Edmonton Seniors Coordinating Council. Age Friendly Edmonton is an initiative to build a city that values, respects, and actively supports the well-being of older adults in our community. Our initiative hopes to build a city that affirms people of all ages and backgrounds. To learn more, visit edmonton.ca/agefriendly. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. This podcast workshop is inspired, recorded, and produced on Treaty 6 territory, the traditional territory of the Plains Cree, Woodland Cree, Beaver Cree, Saulteaux, Blackfoot, Métis, Nakota Sioux, and many others whose footsteps have marked these lands for centuries. We are just beginning to understand the significance of the land, and we want to ensure we honor the people and place. Today, this land is home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island whose histories, languages, and cultures continue to influence our vibrant community. We are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. Let's start at the beginning. What are podcasts? Podcasts are audio stories. You can think about podcasts as radio on demand. Podcasts emerged in recent years as a new form of media with deep roots in the tradition of radio. However, unlike radio shows that are transmitted over airwaves, podcasts exist in the digital landscape. In this workshop, we'll show you how to access that landscape and find podcasts to listen to. Now, podcasts talk about lots of different genres and topics. There's podcasts that can be classified as comedy or fantasy. There are wellness podcasts that include meditation guides, as well as lots of podcasts about current events, the news, and what's happening around us. Podcasts can take on many different formats as well. These can include storytelling, interviews, and game shows. There's so much variety in the podcast landscape, there is really something for everyone. Now you might be wondering, why would I listen to podcasts? Well, I love podcasts, and here are some of the reasons why I listen. First of all, podcasts can be entertaining. I laugh and cry while I'm listening to podcasts. They make me think. They hold my attention. They keep me engaged. And they're a great way to just relax. I've learned so many new things from podcasts. I can look up any topic I'm curious about and hear from experts all around the world. I can gather perspectives and ideas that I wouldn't have otherwise. And finally, podcasts make me feel connected. If I'm thinking about something and I log on and hear a podcast where I hear others thinking about the same thing I am, and I expand my worldview a little bit, I feel like I'm part of a community. So, how can you access podcasts? Well, you need two things to listen to a podcast. The first thing is a digital device. If you have a cell phone, a tablet, a laptop, or a desktop computer, you're all set. The other thing you need is an internet connection. This will help you access that digital landscape I talked about earlier. If you're using a laptop or a computer, here's how you can access podcasts. You can use a website. Now, if you know the name of the podcast you want to listen to, you can go to the podcast's specific website. So, for example, the Shared Mic, the podcast hosted by Age Friendly Edmonton, can be found at thesharedmic.blueberry.net, and you can listen to the podcast directly from there. Now, if you don't know what podcast you want to listen to or you just want to explore, you can go to a website that is more general, that allows you to search for different podcasts. An example of this is podcast.google.com. Another way to explore if you don't know what you want to listen to is to download an app or use an app like iTunes, Spotify, or Google Podcasts. If you're using an iPhone or an Apple tablet, here's how you can access podcasts. Your first step is to open the podcast app. Now, the good thing about Apple products is that most already have this app downloaded. You just need to look for this purple logo in your apps. Click on the logo and you'll open up the podcast app. Once you're in, you can browse or search for something to listen to. Use the search function, usually depicted by a little magnifying glass. Once you find something that you want to listen to, press play and give it a listen. If you like what you're hearing, you can subscribe to that podcast and it'll be added to your library so you can find it easily the next time you open your app. If you're using an Android phone or tablet, here's how you can access podcasts. Your first step will be to download a podcast app using your app store, like Google Play. Once you're in Google Play, you'll need to find a podcast app. Now there's lots of different options, but we like Google Podcasts or Spotify. Once you've downloaded the app, open it up. From there, you'll be able to browse or search for podcasts to listen to. The search function is usually a little magnifying glass located at the bottom of your app. Once you find something you like or are interested in, press play and give it a listen. If you like what you're hearing, you can subscribe to that podcast and it will be added to your library, so you'll be able to find that podcast the next time you open your app. Here's some more information about finding podcasts using your app. Once you click on the little magnifying glass, your app should take you to a screen that looks like this. This screen has two functions. The first is the search bar, where you can type in keywords or topics, and the app will retrieve podcasts or episodes of podcasts that relate to what you're interested in. Now let's say your family and friends have been talking about this great new podcast and you want to look for it. The search bar is also the place where you can type the name of a podcast to directly look it up. You can think of the search bar as your own little Google search, but just for podcasts. Another feature of this is the browse feature. Your podcast app will automatically sort and organize podcasts depending on categories. So if you know you want to listen to something about the news, you can go to the news category and find a variety of podcasts exploring different topics. Take a look and see what's interesting to you. Now I'd like to share a little bit about Age Friendly Edmonton's podcast, The Shared Mic. In January 2020, we launched The Shared Mic, Conversations for the Ages. This is Edmonton's first intentionally intergenerational podcast, bringing together Edmontonians of diverse ages and backgrounds for rich conversations. So far, our local participants have tackled several themes, from their passion for volunteerism to finding friendship in unlikely places. Here's how you can find The Shared Mic. If you're on a computer or laptop, you can visit thesharedmic.blueberry.net. If you're using an app, you can search for The Shared Mic on your app. The Shared Mic is a small community initiative. To raise awareness about these intergenerational conversations, your help goes a long way. You can share The Shared Mic by subscribing to our podcast, leaving us a review or comment, and telling your friends and family. If you like The Shared Mic or are looking for another local podcast about aging, we would recommend Life with Dementia. It's powered by Tusk, the care navigation tool, and is for people living with dementia and their friends, families, and caregivers. We highly recommend Life with Dementia and think you'll enjoy the conversations. Thank you for joining us for this workshop. We hope you feel ready to begin your journey into the wonderful world of podcasts. Happy listening!